Director of Advancement Project National Office, a non-profit organization that focuses on racial justice issues. She joins us now via Skype from Washington, D.C. Madam, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. So starting with the choice of jurors, how crucial do you think it is that the jury will be racially representative, and how confident are you that it will be?
It's very important to have what we call as the jury of your peers, and that means a diverse jury who has had diverse experiences with the police. People of color are going to be critical to be sitting on that jury, because what happens is that they will bring a different set of eyes to the evidence. They will look at the evidence through their own experiences and be able to determine whether or not those who testify, including police officers, are credible or not, what their experiences have been with the police, and they won't rush to a quick judgment of, oh, police protect us, we should let them go. But they will be more critical of the evidence that is put before them. And so that is very important. Now, whether or not there will be people of color on the jury is a different question, because we know that, first of all, we start off with a jury pool that usually is underrepresented, people of color are underrepresented in the pool. Then we move from there to the kinds of questions that prosecutors put before them and discharge them from duty because they either know the case too much or they have certain feelings about policing, and so some of them will be excused. The one thing we do know is that as we saw this morning, 2 Latino jurors being dismissed, is that the prosecution is already on the job making sure that jurors are not being excused because of race. And so they did challenge the dismissal of those jurors, and we should continue to see that as we move forward, and the defense may try to get all people of color struck from the jury.
Madam, one of the things you mentioned in other cases, knowing about the case too much is a drawback. Now, in this particular case, the video of David Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck has literally been seen around the world. Of course, everyone knows about the protests. How do you think the fact that this was such a high-profile case, how do you think that will impact the trial?
Well, I mean, the defense is going to want to probably strike everyone from the jury that knows anything about the case and ever laid eyes on that video. The problem is they're going to run out of potential jurors pretty quickly because, as you said, most people across the globe have seen that video. And so the question really isn't whether or not you saw the video. The question is whether or not you can apply the law to the facts. And that's what they really should be focused on.
There's so much riding on this trial, as we were mentioning, beyond the jury duty, and I guess, you know, as we've seen, that's going to be a pretty big stumbling block in itself. But beyond it, what else do you perhaps worry about? Do you worry that this trial will become a sort of media circus in the wrong way, detracting from the issue at stake, obviously the core of justice being done?
Well, I think the thing that I worry about is that a conviction here might give us accountability for this one officer, but that's not what gives us justice. Justice goes beyond this individual officer to a total transformation of the way that public safety happens in this country. And so the thing that we cannot do is that we cannot put all our eggs in the basket of this particular case and this particular prosecution, because we also know that the laws in the United States were created to protect police officers. And so that is something that we're up against. And so the fight to transform public safety is the thing that we have to be focused on, regardless of the outcome of this particular case.